Hey guys, Happy New Year. Hope you guys are doing well. Hopefully 2022 is starting off well for you. And I thought I would do this just because there are a few movies that I know that I am quite excited for in 2022. There's a few that I actually am legitimately excited for because I think they're going to be good movies, and there's others that I think are going to be steaming piles of garbage, but fun. To start off that list, actually, the first one on my list is Moonfall. This movie looks whack. This looks so bad, but it looks so fun at the same time. And honestly, I'm actually getting Dead Space 3 vibes. For those of you who remember playing that game, you'll remember that you fight an evil moon at the end of that. And so the fact that in this movie, the moon is evil, I've been seeing it being shared around a bunch of Dead Space forums and whatnot. So for a nostalgia slash this is going to be funny as whack kind of experience, Moonfall is definitely there for you. Then obviously the Batman. Now normally I would actually be quite upset at the idea of this prize character getting redone again, essentially for the third time in less than 20 years, which is exactly why I wasn't so on board with Tom Holland's Spider-Man at first, because of just how many times that character been reiterated. But this time I actually do feel a little bit different. I feel that Matt Reeves is really delving into the comics. I think that he is really getting a grasp on the character. We are going to get a new interpretation, and I also feel that it's not connected to the DCEU. It's just its own thing, which is what they should be doing, and I feel that they're kind of going the route of the animated films where they really didn't have much connection. I know that the most recent ones did, but if you call that a connection, that's a flimsy connection. That's the stickiness between peanut butter and jelly. But this is an actual, on its own film that could be somewhat 3 hours long, so I'm really excited for that. But either way, yeah, Batman looks like it's going to be real dope. Another one I'm really interested for is The Northmen. This is directed by Robert Eggers, who did films like The Witch, or The Vivitch, and The Lighthouse. This looks really cool because he has a budget. He's not doing an A24 film, so it won't be as weird as we're used to, but it still looks like it's delving into that very pseudo visualization, visual imagery that he is shown, especially in the films like The Lighthouse. And it just looks like a really cool Viking romper. Top Gun 2. If it comes out this year. This is a film that's actually been delayed so many times that it actually got delayed before COVID even happened. The director of this film has worked with Tom Cruise in the past. He worked with him on Oblivion. He also directed Tron Legacy. But I feel like the best movie he ever did was Only the Brave, one about bush forest firefighters. And that was actually very well done. I remember saying that I believe his true calling is doing real life-based films, are taking his visual style, the means in which he portrayed his stories in films like Oblivion and Tron Legacy, and applying that to real life stories and putting that into the real world. It becomes so much more immersive, and I really enjoyed his previous outing. So I think Top Gun 2 could have those elements if it ever comes out. Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse. Now, I am purely interested in this one for a visual style. I'm upset that Scott Derrickson, the original director, is not a part of this film. I was excited that Sam Raimi was a part of it until I heard there was 6 weeks of reshoots happening, but apparently that was because they needed to have cameos in it, because they couldn't get certain people at certain times. That's the supposed reason. I'm really hoping that Sam Raimi's vision is not getting completely compounded on, but it's Marvel. You can only have so much of your own vision, as we have seen that through the history of this company right now. So from a visuals perspective, I'm very interested, and the overall grandiose scale, don't care, because there's one other Marvel movie that I care about that's coming out this year. Thor 4. As long as this one comes out this year, I still have no idea what to expect from this film. I really don't, but I just know that it's going to be funny, wacky, and full of Taika Waititi tropes. I'm pretty much excited for it just because, yeah, Chris Hemsworth looks absolutely massive in this movie. Apparently he got the biggest he'd ever done for this film. In the end, I'm just really excited to see the humor and the fun and whatever can happen in this movie. If Extraction 2 comes out this year as well, I will also be very excited for that. Mission Impossible 7, back to Tom Cruise again. Mission Impossible 6 Fallout is kind of an oddity. That film was delayed over and over and over and over and over again, and technically speaking, the plot is paper thin, but the action of that film, captured by director Christopher McGuire, the action in that film was stupendous, well beyond anything that was to be expected. So I am really hoping that they bring back that intensity into this film don't make the story matter as much because you've already proven that it doesn't matter. Just make it a real fun movie. Finally, a Spider-Man film that I'm actually quite excited for the reasons of the plot, not because of who might be in it. The sequel to Into the SpiderVerse. I'm very, very excited to see this. I was really enamored with the first film. The animation style, the voice acting, storytelling, everything about that film makes it pretty much still the best Spider-Man film ever put to the silver screen. And I'm really, really hoping that those guys bring that same talent, that same drive, that same passion to this film, because it was so much on display, from everything from the frame rate to the cameos to the references. Everything about that first film screamed people who just absolutely loved Spider-Man. And I wouldn't be surprised if they took even more notes from Dan Slott, who is still probably one of the best Spider-Man writers that the comics have ever had.
Hey guys, so in kind of unprofessional fashion, my camera died. So this is the end of it. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tell me in the comments, what are your guys' most anticipated movies of the year? I know there's a few others that I had on this list, but there's a few that just, it's so unpredictable to say what's going to be on the list. I saw that Jeremy Jahns originally had John Wick Chapter 4 on his list, but he found out while doing the review that it wasn't going to come out until next year. So yeah, anyways, hope you guys are having a good start to your new year. Here's hoping for the best for us all, and keep on trucking.